There's been a lot of media lying about Ukraine over the last few days, somehow trying to spin their defeat in Bakhmut as some sort of real victory, trying to say giving them F-16s no risk to the United States. But perhaps the most insane story that has received basically no scrutiny is a dishonest trick pulled by the Biden administration to send them even more weapons and illegally usurp the power of Congress. Let's dive in. The news broke over the weekend. The Pentagon is claiming with a straight face it has suddenly discovered it accidentally overvalued the amount of aid sent to Ukraine. This miraculous discovery means that they can actually send $3 billion more to Ukraine than previously thought. The way they achieved this was an illegal accounting gimmick by claiming that they had accidentally priced weaponry sent from U.S. stocks to Ukraine at too high of a value. Now, how exactly did they accomplish that? According to their methods, they originally priced all Ukraine aid based on the dollar value it would cost U.S. taxpayers to replace it, which, seems like the right definition when you pay for something and then you give it to somebody else. But the new definition instead prices the weapons not at the original price, but then depreciates those assets over time, as if this is some real estate or heavy equipment that you can sell in the future, and not literal guns, bullets, and bombs. A more simple way of describing this is BS. Of course, they have given themselves plenty of breathing room. The Pentagon now says that $3 billion is just what they found so far. They told reporters in Congress if they go back and depreciate all the weapons, they can probably find even more. It's just a coincidence that because of the current political makeup of Congress, that no more aid can pass to Ukraine legally, and that Ukraine itself says that they're running out of bullets and ammo. Further, it just so happened to come in May, just months before the projected expenditure of all U.S. aid was likely to run out for Ukraine. So what is so disgusting about this is not just the Pentagon's accounting trick, it's that this is illegal. Congress decides the power of the purse. They have given the administration a lot of leeway, zero restrictions really, on the type of aid. But even on this, the White House cannot stop. Listen to their ridiculous explanation when they are asked about it.
There was this very bizarre admission from the Pentagon this week of an accounting error that suggested that the U.S. has at least $3 billion that it didn't know it had that it can use for Ukraine aid. That's a hell of an accounting error, and it provides a lot of fodder to critics of U.S. aid to Ukraine and critics who say there's not enough oversight going on. Are you concerned about this accounting error?
Well, one thing I just want to make clear, that is not money that went out the door and disappeared. That is not a waste of that $3 billion. It is simply a tally of how much military equipment we have given them. And the way that the Pentagon was counting it was, what's the replacement cost for the equipment we provide, rather than just the actual cost of that equipment. Once you make that adjustment, it turns out we have an additional $3 billion that we can spend to provide even more weapons.
Yep. Turns out, that's all you got to do. They're not even lying about it. They're so brazen about their illegal cost circumvention. The reason this is nuts is because $3 billion out of the $40 billion in appropriated funds for military aid, do the math. That's 7.5%. So are we really saying the entire military budget is so fudgy that you can make it look basically however you want, plus or minus 8%? If that's the case, why do we keep giving them so much damn money? Just make them inflate their own books. Also, how much should we really even trust the Pentagon's accounting team? 7 months ago, they failed their 5th audit in a row, where they were only able to account for 39% of $3.5 trillion in assets under management. Not only that, after failing their 4th audit in 2021, they promised that they would do better. And it turns out they made zero progress in that audit at all in 1 year. The same number of areas that they were unable to account for did not change whatsoever in a 1-year period. How does the Pentagon ghouls account for this? You already know. They pretend it literally doesn't exist. Let's just relive one of my favorite clips from Jon Stewart's confrontation with the number 2 official at the Pentagon.
To be doing. Like, there is a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse within a system.
Audits and waste, fraud, and abuse are not the same thing. So let's decompose these.
Please educate me on
sure.
What
so an audit is exactly what you just described,
yes.
Which is, do I know what was delivered to which place?
Right.
The ability to pass an audit, or the fact that the DoD has not passed an audit, is not suggestive of waste, fraud, and abuse. That is completely false right there. So
what is
now it's a question of, it's suggestive that we don't have an accurate inventory that we can pull up of what we have where. That is not the same as saying we can't do that because waste, fraud, and abuse has occurred.
So in my world,
yeah,
that's waste.
How is that waste?
If I give you $1 billion and you can't tell me what happened to it, that to me is wasteful. That means you are not responsible. But if you can't tell me where it went, then what am I supposed to think? and when there has been reporting, I mean, this is not, look, I'm not saying this is on you and that you caused this, but I think it's a tough argument to
I'm pretty
make
sure I
that
didn't cause it.
an $850 billion budget to an organization that can't pass an audit and tell you where that money went, like, I think most people would consider that somewhere in the realm of waste, fraud, or abuse, because they would wonder why that money isn't well accounted for.
Stewart goes on to blast her to her face for justifying corruption, but you get the point. You really believe they're just doing their due diligence, or are they cooking the books for Ukraine? Maybe you're okay with that in this case, if you're one of those NAFO people. But ask yourself this: what about the next conflict, or the one after that? What if you oppose that one? You want to set the continued global war on terror precedent, where the office of the president can just do whatever they want whenever it comes to fighting wars in places that you did not even vote for? That is basically where we are right now with Ukraine. And given what we have covered this morning in terms of Ukraine's cross-border activities, its new F-16s will soon make their way there, their recent loss of Bakhmut, you can rest assured this is only the latest last-ditch effort to ship everything that is not nailed down to the floor over there. For those who are silent on this, I hope and I pray you live to see this same authority used by a president that you hate to prop up a conflict that you don't support, because that is how principles are supposed to work and why you didn't violate them in the first place. I mean, it's just so obvious, Ryan. It's basically there.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.